You know what this film could have utilized? Snakes. Bring snakes into the mix, and you could have had a classic film like Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson, one of the best movies ever made. But instead, we just got Murder on Orient Express. Hello everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host, John Maffeo, and I just did a really bad French accent there because Hercule Poirot is Kenneth Branagh, and he is the main character, and also director, Kenneth Branagh, for Murder on Orient Express. It's a remake, and it's an adaptation of a novel. We've had a couple movies before this one, but we have another one. This film has a star-studded cast, including the Kenneth Branagh. Yes, because he directed the movie, he also stars in the movie. He's like a, he's an all-natural. And you got Daisy Ridley, you got Michelle Pfeiffer, you got Johnny Depp, you got Willem Dafoe, you have Judi Dench. You got a bunch of people in this film. And basically, murder takes place on a train that's going from one place to another. And Kenneth Branagh happens to be on this train, and he's the greatest detective in the world, as I mentioned before. And he's on the case to find out who done it. Who did it. Who's done it. Did it, do it, done it, do. I didn't know what to really expect from this film, but I mean, based off the marketing, the trailer can't stay away from Imagine Dragons because it always used that song. You know that great song, Believer, Believer. I actually am fond of the murder mystery genre, and I'm down for a solid story in a mystery where you have to unravel clues. And in my opinion, the movie does have its faults, but I did find enjoyment in it. Although it's not really a good movie, it has good qualities, but I wouldn't call it a good movie per se. Let me get the goodies out of the way. I really enjoyed the directing of the film. I think Kenneth Branagh does a really good job in scope. What he envisioned for this film in terms of the cinematography, the scope of the film, and the camera movement, I was really a fond fan of. There were a lot of overhead shots that I really liked, and as the movie grew closer and closer, there were some really, really well-composed shots that I was just in love with, and I would love to revisit just for those shots alone. But the story is where it kind of falls flat. Kenneth Branagh does direct the hell out of this movie, but it can't save the meandering and the monotony and the boring nature that comes in the middle and then even towards the end of the film. It starts off really well, in my opinion. You have a good mix of humor and drama. It's a movie that, like, it doesn't feel like it's forcing humor on you, in my opinion. At least some people would say otherwise, that it kind of feels forced, that Kenneth Branagh is being this witty dude. He's a guy who takes his job very seriously, and he's very famous for being great at that job, but he also has his wits about him. And then the movie just kind of abandons that humor after the first act of the movie. Once we're on the train and we're moving and the murder occurs, it just becomes this really serious film, and it makes the movie super boring. You do get invested in the question of who did it, but getting to that destination is just so slow. In some movies, great performances could elevate everything, but in this movie, it can only do so much to keep your interest piqued. It kind of dwindles due to the fact that you do lose that sense of fun after the first act, and the actual way you're going about finding out what's happening just wasn't the best in execution. What honestly kept me interested was making up my own story about these characters and who actually did it. Like Daisy Ridley, it was always for me, not without spoiling, it was always for me Daisy Ridley, because I had put my own thoughts in my head that why would you cast Daisy Ridley in a movie like this just to make her innocent? Of course she's like the murderer. I was creating scenarios in my head, being distracted with myself while watching the movie, and that's not a good sign for the movie itself. And although I was surprised by the revelation of how this story and this mystery was unraveled, I can't help but feel like there was no oomph. I didn't really feel the connection, and there's an arc going on with Kenneth Branagh's character that was the only thing that I really truly felt emotionally invested in, and even that felt underwhelming by the end of the movie. And there's not much else for me to say about Murder on Orient Express. I can't recommend seeing this in theaters to pay $15 to $20, but if you're interested in this genre and in a new modern storytelling of like a whodunit, then definitely check it out when it's on DVD and Blu-ray and on cable. It's got really great cinematography, fun directing by Kenneth Branagh, even though it does get really serious. The seriousness does bring the movie down heavily towards the middle and end. It's underutilized with its cast. The only people who really get utilized greatly are Kenneth Branagh because I guess he's the director of the film and he has a say. So, but him playing the title character does come with its luxuries, and he really owns the screen and chews it up. People like Josh Gad, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Willem Dafoe, Johnny Depp, they all have their little moments, but it makes you wish they had more because the little moments, they're doing so much with so little, and it makes you wish there was more. You really, like, you're grasping for straws, like, ugh, give me more juice! So having said that, I'm gonna give Murder on Orient Express a 2 out of 5 stars. It's a Sam Worthington. But I would say, again, this is a movie you don't really see all that often, so if you're interested in it, definitely check it out, just not in theaters. But now I want to know what you guys think of the film. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Who would you want to see in a whodunit movie, like a star-studded cast? Make your own ensemble cast, and if you want to go as far as to make it, like, to the end, who would be your killer in that cast? If you enjoyed my review, please like, subscribe, and check out everything else down below that includes social medias. Also check out my link for Stardust, which is a great app where you could review movies and TV shows in 30 seconds or less. A lot of your favorites are on there, including myself, so give me a follow and check out everything else and make your own, because it's a lot of fun. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time.